Hello there, my name's Mark. Welcome to Opposite Stock. Today we're going to show you around this wonderful little car, 2022 GR Yaris Circuit Pack. Now I need to apologise, first of all, car's not clean because we've been out doing some filming with it, so please ignore that. So yeah, this is a 2022 car. It's done 15,800 miles. It's finished in precious black, which I personally think is the best colour for a GR Yaris. It's got some lovely upgrades that were done by the previous owner. So we have got I-back suspension and spacers, which were set up by String Theory Garage. We have a Miltech exhaust system. We have a carbon intake and a short shift kit. All of those combined really enhance the feel of this car, which you'll see shortly when we go for a little drive. It also has front end PPF, so the bumper, the bonnet, the front wings, the wing mirrors are all protected with film and A-pillars. It's running on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S all-round, and it drives just perfect. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take you out for a little drive and tell you a little bit more about this car, and yeah, hopefully you'll like what you see. Right, so welcome to the inside of the GR Yaris Circuit Pack. We're going to take this for a little run up one of our favourite roads and let you know what it's all about. So you probably know the GR Yaris when it was launched back in, I think it was around 2020. It was received with, you know, fantastic praise from the press. A lot of initial reports were talking about it being the modern day Integrale, and you know, a hark back to the sort of rally bred homologated specials that we got in the 90s through Subaru and Mitsubishi. I've actually owned two of these cars personally when they first came out. I had one, and then I kind of got rid of it and thought I shouldn't have got rid of that. Got another one. And you know, the thing that always impressed me with the GR Yaris is just the absolutely unbelievable levels of grip that comes from this chassis. The circuit pack cars, which this has, they have limited slip diffs front and rear, which have independent controls, so you can set it up to behave how you want it to. But you know, they really are an absolute weapon, especially in, you know, wet or slippy conditions. The amount of grip they generate is just mind-blowing. Now, with those original cars that I had, which were completely bone stock, what I loved about the car was when you pushed it hard, its cross-country pace was absolutely unbelievable. It's so sure-footed, so stable, and as I say, in any conditions, it would be like that. You could really, really make progress on a B road in a GR Yaris. The one thing that I found disappointing in those cars that I owned, and ultimately the reason that I don't own one now, was that I found that at anything less than, you know, 9 or 10 tenths in terms of pace, I didn't feel that special character that only seems to come out when you really, really rag them hard. I also have found that this car, and I'm assuming that this is down to the fact that it is running the spacers, it's maybe slightly wider, slightly lower, and it's clearly had a geometry setup of some kind, because it feels that little bit more eager at the front. Not quite as washy as the standard car does, which again for me really improves the overall experience. So the other thing with the GR Yaris is, which again has been rectified with this car, is that they don't sound that good. You know, it's a 1.6 litre 3-cylinder turbo engine. Fabulous performance. You know, there really are fast cars, these little things, but the standard cars, they just sound a bit kind of, you know, just a bit nothing really. And the exhaust and intake on this car has enhanced that beautifully in a very sort of civilized way. You know, nothing antisocial about the way this car sounds. It's not been modified in that way. It's just enhanced the natural sound of the GR in a very nice way. The carbon intake means that you can hear the wastegate just that little bit. So when you're banging up through the gears as you lift off, you can hear the wastegate, which is a nice addition. Which with the stock car, I could never hear that. And as I say, the exhaust doesn't have any drone about it. So when you're driving at normal speeds like we are now, it just sounds like a standard car. So those few modifications that have been made to this particular car, I think have been done very, very well, and it really has enhanced the experience. With all GR Yarises, you know, the steering's good, the steering's accurate. It doesn't bristle with feedback, but you know, for especially if you compare it to something like our last video where we were in the GT4 Club Sport, it's not got steering like that, but it's nicely weighted. The driving position is good. You do sit a little high, but you know, everything's where you want it to be, and it's a very comfortable place to spend time. So as you can see, they really get up and go, these things. They're great fun. I'm slightly concerned about our camera that's externally mounted currently, whether that's going to survive. The pedals are nicely spaced for heel toe braking, and yeah, it's just so eager. These wee things are just so eager. They're great fun. If you really pitch it into a corner, it does have a natural kind of whiff of understeer, but you can neutralise that beautifully, like you can in all great hot hatches, with a little lift of the throttle, and it just neutralises the car's angle. If you want to do big skids, you can also do that in these. However, you know, it's not up for power on oversteer. If you turn into a corner and just mash the throttle, it's going to be the front end that breaks loose. You're going to push wide. However, if you give it a bit of a flick, or you know, brake aggressively into a corner and get that rear end light, you can get some fairly comical angles out of these things as well. So yeah, you know, you can drive it sensibly, and it's a perfectly comfortable place to be, and you can carry your kids around in it and all the rest of it. If you want it to be a hooligan, it'll do that if you just if you just drive it accordingly. But as I say, in order to get some really leery angles out of it, you do need to be fairly aggressive with the steering and the way that you brake, and try and get that weight shifting, try and get that weight pitching forward. So we hope you enjoyed the video. The GR Yaris is available now at opposite stock. You can get through our website. We'll put a link in the description. Telephone numbers, etc. are there. Come and see the car, have a test drive, see what you think. And you know, this is our second YouTube video, so we would like to ask if you would very kindly like and subscribe, because that will help the algorithm. And yeah, hope to hear from you soon.